Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara here again, bringing you another segment of how to win at business. And I'm coming to you live from downtown Flushing. That's right. I am in the eye of the storm, the eye of the pandemic, but I'm not going to let that stop me from bringing you this important information. That's how vital I believe it is. And tonight I have a special treat for you, another special treat and a special announcement. And let me do the announcement first because this is pretty big for me. You know, I have been a part of masterminds for a long time. I used to create my own masterminds. And recently I got reconnected with the whole mastermind principle. And I've been a participant in my friend Sue Brooks' mastermind, which is every Friday at 9:30. You can register there for free at mastermindwithsue.com. And I enjoy it so much that I decided to launch my own free masterminds. That's right, folks. I am going to go big time with this. All you got to do is go to Mastermind with Joe DeChara, and you can register for free. That's right, for free. And who knows what kind of information you're going to walk away with. You know, I don't think that I've ever been in a mastermind meeting where I walked away and said, you know what? I'm sorry I spent the time in that. Every time there's some kind of aha moment, there's some kind of, sometimes you get life-changing events that happen in a short period of time. You make connections. And the thing I like most about it is that you could help other entrepreneurs. You know, if you've never done it, I can't even explain the feeling that you get when you come up with what might seem like a stupid out of the box idea even to you, but then when you see the reaction of the person that you're directing the suggestions to, it gets addicting. So, you know, I'm not going to go overboard with this. I'm doing 2 days a week right now. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturday at 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, you know, we're going to do traditional hot seats. And what that is, you know, you come prepared. You come with your biggest need, your biggest want, the question that you've been losing sleep over, and you propose it to the group, and then you get 10, 15 minutes of suggestions. And, you know, the best way to do it is, you know, hopefully you have somebody taking notes for you, or you record it, or you get the recording from the host, like, you know, like me. I will be recording it, and whoever is part of the mastermind, if you request it, I'll upload them to a private mastermind group channel. So I'm really excited about this. And so tonight, what I want to talk to you about, what I want to show you is another way for you to win at business. And, you know, that's really what I want to see. I want to see everybody win at business because business is tough. You know, let's go through the presentation. And again, you know, I've been getting a lot better at these. If you haven't noticed, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. I got this technology which blows my mind away because right now I'm streaming live in 5 different places. And I know that we could take this up a notch, but I'm pretty new to Facebook Live, people. I've only been doing this for a couple of months. And believe me, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Somebody asked me today, actually a client, a friend of mine, Tatiana, if she might even be watching with us. And if you are watching live, give me a hashtag live And if you're watching the replay, please give me a hashtag replay. And I'm still really not sure why, but my coach, one of my coaches, Jenny Wright, taught me to do that. So I do it. Anyway, where was I? Okay, lost my train of thought again. That's par for the course. Oh, yes. So if I can do it, anyone can do it, and that's why I mentioned Tatiana today, because she asked me, Joe, what should I be worried about in my business? What should I be doing? What should I not be doing? What should I be doing? And you know, so she's brand new in business, has a lot of energy. She's got a great concept. And, you know, this doesn't only go for new businesses, it goes for all businesses, myself included. And that's one of the hard lessons that I had to learn. And this is it. You have to put yourself out there. You know, marketing to me was a foreign language. I really didn't get it. I was told for years, you know, you got to get yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. You got to do this. You got to write books. You got to have a YouTube channel. It was all pretty freaking confusing to me. And I'm not a stupid guy. I mean, a lot of people think that I'm stupid, and I am stupid in a lot of different ways. And my girlfriend will attest to that. But, you know, the truth is that business itself is complicated. I'm a logical guy. I'm an accountant, and if you don't know who I am or what I do, and you're watching me, well, you know, you should ask yourself, why am I watching this guy and I don't even know who he is? But I am a CPA. I was tricked into that by my father when I was 17. I'm an entrepreneur. I was born to be an entrepreneur. I was born to do this. And I didn't know that becoming a CPA meant I was going to be an accountant. But that's fine. You know, I've spent over 35 years working with thousands of business owners, and I got a pretty good taste of what being an entrepreneur is all about. And I've seen too many people fail. And I made a pledge that I was going to do everything I could to help people succeed. Okay, and that's what brings me here. So, you know, back to Tatiana, what I told her was, you got to put yourself out there. People got to know who you are. They got to know what your story is, and you got to give them you. You know, be yourself. This is me. Okay, I can't act. I've never taken an acting lesson. And one of the things that was mind-boggling to me was when I realized that I didn't have to put on an act. You see, when you're doing marketing, you can be yourself. Be your unique, original self, Tatiana, because you're beautiful, you have a great family, you have a great product, a great concept, and all you got to do is put yourself in front of the camera or wherever it is, forget about what you're comfortable with. Okay, you got to come out of your comfort zone. There's no way around that. If you're doing everything that's in your comfort zone, you're not doing enough. And that's what makes business interesting and also hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. What I can do is I make things simple. I make business simple, I make it profitable, and I make it fun for people. If you didn't notice, I'm having a lot of fun here. There's not enough time in the day for me to do my business. I don't work anymore. And that's my part of my story. I'm going to stick with that. If anything I say resonates with you, you should probably start seeing somebody about why I resonate with you. But if I say something that connects with you, if you think that I might be able to help you, or even if you know somebody that I might be able to help. I invite you to book a free chat with me. Go to timewithjoe.com and I'll give you 15, 20 minutes or even more if you're interested to talk about your business, how I might be able to help you get on track. And if you're booking a chat to pitch me with something, I will vet you and you'll be blacklisted. So don't even, waste your time or my time. I'd appreciate that. So let's get on with the show. Let me take off this banner here. This StreamYard thing is unbelievable. And it's probably even better. Oh, there. Okay. If you click enough buttons, you finally get to where you want to be. And that's where I am now. And so the good news, folks, is that as I've been getting more familiar with this, more comfortable, I've been able to get better prepared. And that equates to shorter, more focused lessons. So let's go through what I put together for you tonight. And what it is tonight's training is we're going to talk about LLC versus S Corp. What's better for you? It seems to be a mystery to most people. And it's a mystery because life is tough, like I said, and running a business makes it even tougher. So if you thought life was tough before and you're about to start a business like Tatiana just did, it's going to get even tougher. But if you have the tenacity and the grit and the will to do it, I encourage you. But you might get sidetracked. Most people get sidetracked. It's easy to let life stuff get in the way. This little pandemic thing, it's changed things. It's changed things for a lot of people. It's definitely changed things for me. Like I said, I'm in Flushing, New York. I understand now that we are basically the worst place to be in the world as far as I could tell. I don't listen to the news. I'm going by what other people tell me. I don't have time for the news. Most of it's bad. And so I just don't listen to the news. I avoid it. But what I'm being told now is that New York is off the charts as far as number of cases, deaths. It's going to be bad for a very long time. Nobody can even predict it. But how has that affected my business? That's the question. And the truth is, yeah, it's affected it, but not like most people. Not like most people. And it's not because I'm smarter or wiser than anyone else. It's because of how I positioned my business a long time ago. I went away from being a brick and mortar accountant. I started doing things remotely a long, long time ago. So as far as closing my office and not, having employees not be able to come in, that wasn't part of it. Okay. It's affected some of my clients. Their revenue's gone down, which means that some of them aren't able to pay me right now. But that's part of being in business. That's the risk that you take. Okay, there's a lot more people in worse shape than me, but I have a set of principles that I follow, and I've been following them for a long time. And those principles are what get me over the humps. Okay, so now I'm off into a whole different subject, and I want to stick with what tonight's topic is. But the fact of the matter is stuff gets in the way. Stuff gets in the way, and there's way too many rules and regulations for any business to to operate on their own. You need a lawyer and a CPA to open up a hot dog stand in New York City. I think that's nuts. Now, I understand that there's issues with, food and stuff like that. But there's way too many rules and regulations for anyone to really keep track of, and even for a CPA and a lawyer, it's a job. But today, we're going to be talking about why out of 30 million businesses in the United States of America, there's over 30 million businesses, and over 25 million are still classified as sole proprietors. And that is the worst way to do business by far, undeniably. And I'm going to go through some of the pros and cons of being a sole proprietor. Why have they stayed a sole proprietor? If it's so bad, that's, I don't know, it's almost 90%, let's say over 80% of all the businesses in the United States are classified in a way that's detrimental to their survival. Okay, if you want to talk about all the businesses that fail, well, being a sole proprietor is one of the chief causes of business failure. It's one of the main reasons why businesses fail. And so it's complicated and it's confusing. And that's why I decided to pivot my business. And I decided that I'm going to make it simple, I'm going to make it fun, and I'm going to help you make it profitable. So why, we went backwards there, why is choosing the right business structure, why is it so complicated? Because that's what we're talking about. And it's complicated. I don't know why it's so complicated. For me, it's simple. It's simple. You only have three choices. You really only have three choices. You can be a sole proprietor, you can be an LLC, or you can be a corporation. Now, a corporation can also be treated as an SCorp. And that's what we want to talk about tonight. Let's go through what the issues are. The issues are these: taxes, legal protection, your IRS audit risk, and your standing in the community as a business. So let's go through the first one, sole proprietors, pros and cons, okay? First, let me explain what a sole proprietor is. It's the simplest form of doing business. Some people are sole proprietors, they're in business and they don't even know it. If you're a speaker, a writer, if you're doing anything where your intention is to make money, you are a sole proprietor. Okay, and that comes with responsibilities. So as soon as you decide to go into business and you take action to make money, you are considered a sole proprietor. Now, the biggest benefit of being a sole proprietor is that it's so simple to start. It's so simple that you don't have to do anything. What are the cons? Why am I saying that it's so bad to be a sole proprietor? Well, number one, you get no legal protection. If you're doing business as a sole proprietor and something goes awry legally, your personal assets are at risk. That's the first problem. Second problem is you get higher taxes than other entities. And the truth is you get no leeway. You are taxed on your net profits, whatever it is. Not only that, you're paying self-employment tax. Social Security tax on your net profits, whatever it is. So there's no leeway. That's a detriment. Sole proprietors get audited more than any other type of business. Okay? They get audited, and there's a reason for that. I'm not going to go into it, but it's a fact. Sole proprietors probably get audited 1,000 times more than SCorps. And the last but not least is that sole proprietors get no respect from the business community. When you go into a bank for a loan, you are going for a personal loan. You're not going for a business loan. Insurance companies, anybody targeting businesses usually are not targeting sole proprietors. Why? Because we are the smallest of small businesses. Now, I'm not a sole proprietor. I am what we call a solo-preneur. And all that means is I'm incorporated. I have a legal corporate entity. I own an SCorp. So I'm a solopreneur. But for the most part, when you're buying a list, when any kind of marketing people, they're usually not targeting smaller businesses like us, okay? And that's just a fact. The next type of entity, now what happens is because 25 million people are still sole proprietors, they never even get to this point. And I believe that they don't get to this point because it's confusing. And a confused person usually does not make a decision. But when they get to the point, if they've gotten to the point where they want to make a decision, now you got to decide between an LLC or a corporation. So what is it, an LLC? Well, the LLC takes care of the legal protection. You see, it's called a limited liability company. Your legal liability is limited to what the LLC owns. So and this doesn't, I'm not a lawyer, so it doesn't go for fraud or criminal acts, that they can probably pierce the LLC. So it's not going to protect you that way. But as far as civilly and legally, as long as you're doing business in the LLC, your personal assets are protected. Okay, but again, I'm going to clarify this. I'm a CPA. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that this is one of the benefits of being an LLC. Okay, you also get a little more respect than the sole proprietors because LLC says, hey, I've taken a step up from being a sole proprietor. I'm an LLC. And so a lot of people choose LLCs despite the cons, okay? There's the pros and the cons. These are the bad reasons. Well, LLCs, if you're a single member LLC, you're still being taxed as a sole proprietor. There are no tax benefits. There's no tax form for an LLC. You're still being taxed. Like I said, you're still paying the high. That's actually a duplicate, I guess. But yeah. And being a sole proprietor, you still bear the same higher audit risk. You see, when you're a sole proprietor, you file your business return on your personal return. So in effect, what you're doing is you're commingling your business with your personal. And that is a Pandora's box. And that's one of the reasons why the IRS audits sole proprietors. The chances of commingling business and personal, the chances of a sole proprietor not keeping good books and records. And the truth is that a lot of people stay sole proprietors because they just can't afford to hire a professional to guide them into the right decision. So LLC sounds great, and if you go on the internet, there's all of these companies that will form an LLC for you. But it comes with other problems, and they don't advertise these problems. So let's talk about the last choice, which is the corporation. But now let me just clarify this. When you incorporate, you're a regular corporation. There's another step you have to take to be considered an S Corp. Okay, so it's a specific classification that was actually created for sole proprietors. So the S Corp was created in the late 50s. I think it was like 1958 or 1959 in response to the wide gap between the sole proprietors and the corporations. See, the corporations had all of these tax benefits and legal protection, but it cost money to be a corporation because it was double taxation. So Congress came up with this hybrid. They said, we're going to create a small business corporation specifically for these sole proprietors. So if you look at the results, what is that? Almost 60 years later, it didn't work. The whole idea of making an S Corp for sole proprietors never took on. It never caught on. And there's reasons for that. But let me stick to the subject here. So the pros to being an S Corp is you get the legal protection. You get the community acceptance because now you're an Inc. You're a corporation. You're the president of your own company. You're an executive. You went from being a sole proprietor to the president of your company. Now, if you go into a bank for a loan, you're going to get the long business form because now your business is separate from your personal. And that means it comes with a level of respect. There are massive tax savings available for S Corps. And S Corps, in my 35 years in accounting, not only working with thousands of my own clients directly and even indirectly with other firms' clients. The first 10 years of my career was spent with some pretty large CPA firms. And they all did a lot of tax returns. And we're talking about tens of thousands of business returns. And in that time, I've seen 3 S Corps audited. And that's a fact. And all 3 of them had big red flags. So S Corps do not get audited. And there is a drawback to being an S Corp, and that is that you actually have to pay attention. Yeah, it's more complicated than being a sole proprietor. You have to separate your personal stuff from the business. You have to file a separate tax return. If you're profitable, you have to have a salary. So it's a little more complicated. But look, if you want to be successful, these are some of the things you got to do. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. And like I say every week, every night just about, that this information is useless unless you take action and you use it. Okay. Now, if you want to know how to use it, I am here. I will. I invite you to visit timewithjoe.com, book a free chat with me. I'm more than happy to talk to you in depth about why you should be an S Corp and not an LLC, and definitely not a sole proprietor. If you're a sole proprietor and you're watching this, visit me. Okay, and I will tell you, I can share some horror stories with you about people that were sole proprietors. One of them is a friend of mine, a client. She got audited 4 years in a row at one time as a sole proprietor. Almost completely ruined her life. She got over it, but you know, now she's a corporation, an SCorp. And last but not least, I want to invite you to my new free mastermind, mastermindwithjoedechara.com. And that's my story. I'm sticking with it. I will be back again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And I will still be in Flushing, New York. So pray for me, and I will definitely pray for you. And that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Over and out. Thank you.